3, 2, 1, and we are live. Brennan, what's up, bud?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to How Copy, live from the belly of the beast, Fayetteville, Vietnam. Today is what, April 13th?
No idea. 13th.
2023?
It is
cool.
the 13th.
Week of 13th. I just did it.
What?
Fucking tapped
Don't
on the
worry
table.
about it.
Anyhow, man, it's been a good week. Sorry we're a little bit late this week, but it is what it is.
Waves have been on, man.
That's right.
That takes priority.
Unexpected swell this week, actually.
Yeah.
Swell was fucking awesome, man.
I know you hit it. How many days
I'm
in
smoked.
a row?
Shit. Well, 2 days in a row, but 3 days total this week.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, you had a day off.
Yeah, man, I got home last night, dude, and I was nodding off on the way home, the drive home.
I was too,
and it was
yeah.
beautiful, and it was hot, but I don't have AC in that truck, so I have the windows open. But still, I was like, oh man, it's fucking hot. But I feel amazing. I got home last night, and my whole body, I just feel like a whole body workout, dude.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure. You lost a lot of weight too. I mean, you trimmed up, like I was telling you before.
I'm telling you, man, like just in a week.
Yeah.
Like because I probably haven't surfed because of what happened to my. Hey, Fayetteville.
they can't hear that.
Oh, they can.
I don't think
Doesn't
so.
pick up? We'll see. Anyhow, if you hear a siren, fucking comment Fayetteville, and we'll throw you some stickers or something, man.
I ain't throwing you shit.
I will.
You can take care of
The
that.
little contest
That sounds
here.
like a trip to the post office. And
little contest I have here. Every time fucking Fayetteville happens in our podcast, whether you hear gunshots or police sirens, go ahead and just comment Fayetteville. But anyways, and the timestamp. Yeah, it has to have a timestamp. You can't just comment Fayetteville because anyone would do that. But
that would work if we were live, but we're not live. We're recorded. So
doesn't matter.
Somebody could watch this bitch in like a month and be like, Fayetteville, be like, motherfucker, you got lost.
Okay. Fuck that. Only when we're live then. So we haven't gone live in a while. We got to do that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I like going live.
The problem with going live is I got a whole platform here. I got TikTok. I got to make shorts. And then I got YouTube. And then it's a pain in the ass. I tell you what, when you take over the editing, we do whatever the fuck you want, baby.
Bet. Fair enough. But anyway, back to surfing. Yeah, man. So like this week, because of what happened with my dad and all, losing my dad, I just realized like I saw people yesterday who I always used to surf with.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, I haven't seen you in forever, man. I was like, yeah, I've really been slacking off when it comes to surfing. Because I told you when I first met you, like I used to make myself consistently go 3 times a week at least, if not 5 times a week. And that was, man, when I was going 5 days a week, dude, I felt I was in my prime.
Yeah.
But of course my back injury fucked it all up. And I'm still, it sucks because like I like to think I'm better, but I'm still suffering from that issue. And I think it's something I'll just always have with me from now on. But
I don't think it's your physical condition you suffer from. You suffer from a rare form of hard-headedness. Because you won't fucking get off of that little fucking board.
Fuck that,
If you brought a 9-foot or better out there, you would catch more fucking waves, and you probably wouldn't have as much injury. You wouldn't feel it as much because you'd be standing up more.
I don't know, man. It's boring to me. Like I could go, dude. Next time we surf, I'm gonna bring my longboard. I'm gonna catch every fucking wave. But
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't like just catching waves and going straight.
Because I mean, I don't bring this debate up from a standpoint of who's better or whose dick is bigger. Because obviously you've been surfing longer, you know more about it. But I look at this issue from like an observation standpoint. Yeah. Okay, when we're out there for 4 fucking hours, okay, what's the ratio you think from waves that you catch for every one wave you catch, how many do I catch?
I don't even count because I know it's. I used to call it
only because I'm on a long board and you're choosing to do this short board and fucking long board waves. I just don't get it. I'm trying to get it.
I used to call it when my buddy Caleb, if you're listening, you'll remember this. We used to call it like I was like, dog, your fucking WPH is on fire right now. Like how many waves per hour are you catching?
Yeah,
so he was going. He's going like 20 waves per hour. I'm going like 2. Yeah. But you know what? Like I'm okay with that because like you're right. If I brought a longboard, I could catch every single wave. But I don't know, man. I like doing stuff on the waves. I like turning. I like riding like vert on a skateboard. I miss pool skating a lot. I used to be able to do that when I was young, like really young. But now
Well, I get that part of it, but if in the right conditions, yeah. But 99.9% of the time where we surf,
I know.
Is like you're just putting out I watch you put out so much fucking effort. And I know you can do it because I've seen you bomb a few waves. Yeah. A few, because you're never on a fucking proper board for the conditions. And I'm like, okay, that looks, I guess, dope. And if we were in Hawaii or somewhere where it called for, is that my dog barking?
Yeah.
But Brennan left the dog sitting in the dark. Dog abuser. I went and turned it on. She should be okay. But yeah, anyway, in the right conditions, yeah. But, I look at it like this. This is my stance on it. I think that somewhere along the line, somebody groomed you when you were a grom and told you that shortboarding was cooler than longboarding.
Well, it's like how you feel about boogie boarding.
Okay. I just make fun of you.
Yeah.
I look at boogie boarding like turkey hunting.
Right.
I like to deer hunt. I'm a fanatic about deer hunting, right? You know that. All responsibility gets shirked. I don't even go surfing when the hunting is in like rut. So that takes priority. You would think that I'm just a hunter. So when I can't hunt deer, I'm going to go hunt turkey, or I'm going to go hunt fucking squirrel, or I'm going to hunt fucking crows or whatever. It's not the case. So I look at boogie boarding like, when I was a kid, I used to do it because I didn't have a surfboard. I didn't know how to surf. So it's kind of like, it doesn't really appeal to me. It looks dope though. I saw it when I was paddling out to the lineup yesterday, and you had caught that wave and you turned into it. And it was like, again, if it would have been a snapshot picture, it looked like you were going into a tube. Now you may have, but I went over the wave.
And dude, those rides were freaking, I got tired of riding. That's how good those waves were. Those waves, man, I'll tell you what, dude. Blockade Runner yesterday when we got there, that was pristine fucking surf, period.
Was good.
Anywhere.
It was good, yeah.
You could have took a video of that and you could have said it was like South Shore in Hawaii and people would have believed it because that was beautiful. It was like what? Chest head high.
So some of them were head high.
Barreling. Oh man, those barrels were making they're going whop, 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 whop when they were breaking.
Well, Martin didn't go to Blockade Runner with us, did he? It was just me and you.
No, it was just me and you.
So when we were at 8 that morning, there was a one wave that I remember in particular. I was paddling out and Martin caught that damn wave and he got his front foot to the nose and kind of cut the board in. And he went right into got barreled, but he was leaning back like this. But if I could have got a picture of that would have looked fucking dope.
So if you guys haven't picked up
ride,
tonight, we're kind of heavy on the surfing topic just because we've been stoked all week. And we've never really come on here yet and talked about surfing.
Yeah, we're always talking about politics.
Yeah, we wanted to take a little break from the stress and just talk about something fun and that's beautiful. And like yesterday, man, like we've been waiting for this for a while because there's been swell, but the wind is always on it this time of year. In the spring, you get real bad, crosswinds that come down. But yesterday, man, was beautiful. Like, it was crystal clear outside.
Oh, man, it was like fucking glassy.
The water was fucking perfect
clear.
glass.
The waves were really good yesterday. There was a lot of closeout where we were. Now, where we went with Blockade Runner was better. Mm-hmm. But there towards like after about 2 or 3 hours at 8.
The wind got on it again.
Just started closing out. Yeah. And I got on the face of a wave with that 10-foot board now, and I thought I was about to eat shit.
Yeah, dude, that's scary.
Because you're not supposed to look down. You're supposed to look at the beach. You look down, you're going to go where your head. But I felt the vert, basically. I feel like I'm going straight down, so I have to look. I have to look out the corner of my eye, and I saw the shallow. I saw the sandbar, and I was like, fuck. So I just looked back at the fat lady in the chair, whatever I saw, and my guts floated. And was like, and I wrote it out, and I was like, well, that was fucking gnarly. But I can see what you're saying now on steep pitches on a long board, especially the way I was going in straight. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going at maybe at an angle like Martin does. He go at an angle, and you can cut right.
Here's another thing too, and this might happen to you eventually, but I don't know if it has yet. But like it happened to me yesterday on my fun board. That's why I switched it out. I've got a retro board it's shaped like a short board, but it's about the size of a mid-range long board.
I know what your board looks like.
What's that?
I know what your board.
No, I'm just explaining to everybody like what I have.
We're having a conversation. They're listening to our conversation.
When I was on a wave yesterday, like I was either paddling through it because I don't really duck dive that thing unless I really have to. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to, but you can duck dive with it, which is what I like about it too. That's another thing, man. You have not had a day yet where it's relentless and there's no break.
Again, 99.9% of the time, it's not like that. Yeah. So yeah.
But when you get those days where you get those real powerful waves and they're huge and they're thick, they're not just breaking, they're rolling. Yeah. And you get long, powerful rides. Now, you'll probably get maybe 10 days a year out here like that, and mostly it's in late summer. But there'll be those days when the back of the lineup is like 5 people, and they're all on shortboards because nobody can get out. And it's funny because it's like all the guys that get to the outside will like look at each other like, haha, look at these fucking idiots on the inside. Everyone's just eating shit. And like you'll see 30 people trying to get out. Yeah. But there'll only be like 80 all in the back. And those are real fun days, but they're dangerous. Mm-hmm. And what happened to me yesterday was I was paddling, and as I was paddling through this wave, I was sitting on my board, and the wave, I kind of let the wave just go over me, but it hit the back of my wave, or my back of my board, and almost flipped me off my board. Oh, shit. And that, when you're on a longboard on a wave, let's say you don't make it through the closeout, like another thing that's scary is on a shortboard, it's easier to maneuver your board around the wave. But if you're on a longboard, your board might get closed out.
It happened to me yesterday.
Like 4 feet from where you are.
Closed out right on the tail of my board.
Yeah, that's another thing that's dangerous about longboarding. But like, there's definitely a way to do it in big waves, but it's just sketchier, man.
But there are guys, like a couple of guys I was talking to yesterday. I'm wondering why they're letting some of these they're letting the wave go nice. Looks like a nice wave to me, and they're just riding right over it. They're letting it go under them. Well, and I'm like, why didn't you catch? That was a nice one. I just curious. He was like, did you see it close out?
Yeah.
So some people have been doing it long enough. They can tell.
Yeah.
A closeout wave versus me. I'm just like, I see a bump in the. I probably go after 10 waves to catch. I think I'm getting better now.
Yeah.
I think the waves I went after this morning that I didn't make were unmakeable. They were just a bad call.
Right.
Because everything was knee high to waist high. And, even Martin, who's got 30 years experience he was just like, you stand up on the wave because it's breaking and you start surfing. And by the time you stand up, it's like, where the fuck did it go?
That's another thing too, is that's why you'll see me like you think it's a good wave, but then I'll let it pass because I know it's going to close out. And once you get really fucked up by a closeout, you're going to learn that you don't want to do that ever again because that shit's scary, man.
Yeah, I think that you getting it fucked up, like I've read in books about surfing in Hawaii on like like big waves, powerful waves,
kill you,
especially where the current. Like the thing about Wrightsville Beach is you can walk out to the sandbar.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a beach I've only ever been to the beach in Mexico where it was like this, but you step out into the like knee-high water and it's so deep. It goes from shallow and it goes so deep right there that current threw my back out because I wasn't ready for it, and I had to like
in the undertow.
Recover. The undertow is what I'm talking about. So you imagine if you're trying to swim now and you get sucked down, that's what will hold you down or pull you out.
Right.
Here we don't really have to worry about that. You have to worry about the lip of the wave.
Yeah, and the sandbar being shallow.
And the sandbar being shallow, but once it passes, you can pretty much stand up.
Yeah, you got to worry about shit under the water here too, because there's like pier pilings in places. Now they have them marked, but dude, have you seen those pilings on jetty?
Is that jetty or is that?
There's a couple of them.
Is that's South Crystal Pier, right?
South Crystal Pier is jetty. So that whole south of Crystal Pier it's all called jetty.
Yeah.
So if someone's talking about jetty side from now on, you know that it's
that's
anywhere
where
south
I'm saying.
Crystal
That's
Pier.
where those pilings are.
Yeah, man, that thing when the tide is low, dude, it looks like spikes.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about that, and in between.
Why don't they just take them out? That seems like dangerous.
They are. I don't know. I don't know if there's some historical value to them or something.
Not that. But they're just telephone poles. They're not.
Dude, I think it's part of it. Something historical about it.
Well, like whenever I was surfing in Tamarindo, Costa Rica, I was surfing in this spot that nobody was surfing because I didn't, I was new. I didn't want to be out in the lineup.
You figure out when no one was
and
surfing
then when
there, right?
fucking low tide came, it was like a fucking rock formation.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
I was right over that. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't, what you don't know what you don't know.
That's another thing too. Like we back in the day, like I'm talking about like a couple years ago, not like back in the 50s or 60s or 80s, but we were shooting the pier all the time. That was like, we had a little crew going on, and that was part of the thing. You had to shoot the pier to like hang out with us.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
And my buddy, the first day I met you, actually, before we knew each other, I just said what's up to you.
Yeah.
We were out there all shooting the pier. And that damn pier.
That was a good day. I was not surfing yet at that time.
Yeah. I
went out one time. But yeah, that was a good day.
It's funny because I vividly remember you now because like I was like, oh, the fucking pirate tattoo, the skull and crossbones,
the Jolly
Roger on your neck. But you were out there with John because I remember just seeing John.
He was there to get lessons.
Yeah.
That was going to be his first surf lesson.
Oh wow.
But it was too big, and I gave them the wrong number, so I drove all the way down, and then we were waiting. That's why you saw me. They told me to meet them there, but they didn't show up. And then finally, I called and then John was like, oh, man, they're just being wusses. So we went up to Topsail where my camper was and went to the beach. And he walked up all excited with that damn 8-foot foamy and saw 4 feet.
Oh, yeah.
What 4 feet on the surf cast looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the day after that was the first day I went out was the day after that. So there was a hurricane was going on.
Yeah, it was a hurricane swell.
So I was like 4 feet, nothing. And that's where I almost died. But yeah, that was the first. And I remember you too after I saw the board. Yeah, because you had a board with a 6-shooter painted on it.
I painted for my buddy Caleb. Yeah, because he was, dude, that guy, man.
And then John actually wanted to paint a 6-shooter on his foamy after because he saw it too. But yeah, that's weird that we saw each other and then just happened to.
It's just crazy because first of all that's illegal, but second of all that pier, man, we're just lucky. I'm not going to shoot that thing anymore. It's fun sometimes, but dude. I had a close call on a boogie board. I almost went face first into some barnacles.
Yeah, fuck that. And there's all types of
there's all kinds of shit under there.
there's all types of fishing line and hooks that are floating around.
I did get, man, that was another thing. Fishermen out there, man. I know it happens in the ocean, but please fucking clean up after yourself.
They can't. I mean, it gets stuck on the side of the fucking pier. You're right. Or a fish wraps around the pylon. Oh. Don't fucking surf near the pier. That's what I would say as a fisherman. Fuck you.
But that's where the best waves are here.
Yeah. That's what it seems like it. I tell you.
One day I was walking in, and Colton, you know Colton. Colton had just showed up, and I was all excited, so I rode a little one in. I hopped off my board, and I was walking in, and all of a sudden, wham, right between the toes, caught a fucking nice. And it wasn't a regular hook. It was one of those crazy, like...
Yeah, circle hook.
Yeah, the ones that kind of bent, and then they have... Yeah.
Circle hook.
For seafood. And it also had... Here's the thing.
Sharks and shit.
Not only did I step on that hook, and it went all the way to the hilt into my toe, between my toe, but it had a weight on it. So every time the fucking current was going out, it was pulling on it. It was,
that'll teach you to stay the fuck away from the pier.
Yeah, but luckily
some fishermen out there that hate surfers is fucking laughing.
No, it's funny though, because I've seen some shit go down by the pier, bro. Like you'll see in the summertime a lot, like early in the morning before the patrol comes out, and then it sucks in the summer because they have surf zones set up.
Yeah.
And you've been out when they had that. It just that's why I started boogie boarding too, though, because you can boogie board.
I thought the surf zone was all the time because we got kicked out of Crystal Pier.
No, it's only during the summer season. It's when they have lifeguards. So from like May until like September.
But they still have a surf zone next to Crystal Pier.
You can't. Yeah, they still have a surf zone, but then during the summer they have surf zones where you can't surf outside of the flags.
Gotcha.
Or you can only surf outside of the checkered flags.
I got you. Yeah, I remember that.
And it's like 100 feet on each side of each lifeguard,
so
and it sucks. But like, you'll see, man, during the summer. There's been plenty of times where we go out there by the pier on a day when there's nobody at the beach, but there's still fishermen. And I've seen shit go down. I've seen fishermen cast into surfers, dude.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've thrown
all kinds of arguments.
I had so I used to, before I started surfing for like 4 years, I was on Johnny Mercer's pier like 3 days a week, king fishing. And so while you're king fishing, you're also, while you're waiting on your reel to go off, you're down towards the surf trying to catch Spanish mackerel and whatever else is, and there's surfers out there. And it's kind of a respect thing. Like, hey, look, we're all fishing up here. You see us. You surf out there. We're good to go. But some of those guys would get so close, and people have lines.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to be, I think it's 300 yards maybe.
300 feet.
300 feet.
Yeah.
Because guys old dudes, they got the 1 day off a fucking month. They're away from their wife. They grab a 6-pack of beer in a cooler, and they don't even know how to fish. But they throw their line as far as they can, and they sit there. And then some surfer fucking goes into it or gets near it. And maybe they think they're scaring the fish away, even though that's bullshit. But they'll fucking go underneath the pier. And I've done it before because I've gotten, I had a big Spanish mackerel. I mean, probably like a good 2-pounder, which is a big Spanish mackerel. And I'm getting it, and the fucking surfer came in, catching the fucking wave. But I didn't know if he was going to go towards the pier.
Is it Johnny's?
Yeah, Johnny Mercer's. Yeah. I only ever fished there. But so some of the guys are assholes. So we'll take these fucking, I call them, they look like dildos. They're like a small dildo type bait. You know what I mean?
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah. But I cut the fucking hook off of it, and I've yelled at them. I've seen guys yelling at them all the time. Never seen any fights. That's what I've noticed lately is a lot of people, even that time those dudes were fighting in the water.
Oh, yeah.
You want to go to the fucking shore? You want to go to the shore? Do you want to go to the shore?
That shit made case.
Did it?
Yeah. Guy got an assault charge, man.
Well,
our buddy Z had to go as a witness.
Really?
Yeah, he actually, shit went to court.
Man, I was there for that. I didn't see what transpired. I didn't see who ran into who. I know they were both on. I don't know who had priority, but the 5 people that were watching that, because I was on a wave or I was turned around, said that the dude, the former soldier, snaked him.
Yeah, so that's what I heard too.
So at first I figured, well, maybe they're friends with this guy, so of course they're going to say that. So maybe I've got to look out for this guy. I knew he was in the military. I could tell. Maybe I'm going to watch his back so these fucking local gang fucking whatever don't fucking gang up on him. But they didn't know each other. And they were, and matter of fact, I think 2 of them were kind of like yuppie guys because I recognized the surfboard.
Right.
One of the surfboards was made by Quiver Concepts, and it has like it had like red and black stripes on it. I recognized the surfboard. It's a $high surfboard. The guy was just, anyway, the bald guy, the veteran, was fucking wrong.
Yeah, he was.
And then Z saw it, and he got involved after like 5 minutes of this guy just talking shit, I forgot where I was going with that, but people fighting in the water. But one of the things was, I think it might have been, I won't say who it was, it might hurt the case, was like, hey, do you want to just like go to the shore?
It was, yeah.
You just want to go to the shore? You want, we can argue all you want in the water. If you're not going to go fight me, then shut the fuck up and surf.
Right.
That was kind of the gist of it. And the guy just kept running his mouth like he felt like no one's gonna fuck with me. No one wants to go to jail.
Right. That's the thing, man. Like,
they were splashing water.
No,
like,
there was physical contact.
No, well, what happened was veteran guy and yuppie. I'm just going to call him yuppie guy, okay? Yeah. He's not ever going to watch this. I don't know if he's a yuppie, but I'm just going to call him that.
It'd be great if he did, though.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So yuppie guy and veteran guy. So you got 6 people all on the same wave. So there's a priority. There's not a priority so much as there's a lineup. Like, it's just kind of natural. If I swim out there, if I paddle out to the area and I sit up on my board, a good wave comes in. You've been sitting there. I'm just going to let you take it if you want it.
You would think.
That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I have found most people do. Okay. I have just found that most people, I haven't experienced the asshole yet. And we'll get into why you think everybody's an asshole. That's like some psychology we need to work on.
But it is.
I've just always been friendly with guys. So when that doesn't happen, when there's a confusion, whoever is closest to the peak of the wave has priority, right? If we're both in the zone and I'm closer to the peak of the wave and I'm going, I've got priority, you got to back the fuck off. Well, this guy, he's riding not that this means anything, but typically if a guy's riding a Gary Owen or Jerry Owen fucking foamy, he's new.
Yeah.
So you got to give him a little bit of grace there. He doesn't really know, because if he was read into this, he'd probably have a epoxy or a fiberglass or a better foamy. That's a beginner's foamy. That's a kook storm.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to give him some grace. But anyway, the yuppie guy had fucking priority on the wave, and the guy went underneath him. So he was going left. So of course he was backside, because I think he was regular footed, and he ran into him, and his board went over his fucking foamy, and it cut it because his fin got him. So what I remember seeing, because I didn't know what was going on, yuppie guy was kind of like, oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't see what, and the fucking veteran guy was like, you cut my board, and smacked him.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, oh, so I didn't know. He's a veteran. I could tell. I kind of think you might have told me.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I'm going to be on his side just automatically, but he was a dick.
Yeah, he was wrong.
And he deserves to get, I hope he gets charged. I don't think he needs to go to jail, but I hope he gets charged with enough money that it hurts him, because maybe he'll think twice about frivolously smack. Not only that, this would have been a while ago or in the right place. You could get, who wants to fight in the water? You can get drowned out there.
Yeah. It's happened.
What if you get a guy that don't give a fuck? Some guys they don't think about the consequences.
Oh man, Indonesia. I get weird surf news on my feed, because I don't know. You ever notice when you go to your phone, you go to Google, like there's always news that comes up.
That's in your bubble.
I guess so.
You're in your own bubble. I never get surf news.
I wish that I could get rid of it, but it's just like an automatic thing on my phone.
Someone got his leg bit off?
No. Oh, well, that's another thing.
And you want to talk about it while we're morning surfing out in the fucking breakers?
Psych.
Don't you say that fucking word.
No, we'll talk about that guy in a sec, because that's a fucking awesome story, actually, just about surfers. But no, in Indonesia, man, this chick was out. Well, I'll say lady. This lady, she was a grown woman. I can't. That's disrespectful. Anyways,
fuck that chick.
This grown woman was out surfing in Indonesia, and she got snaked by this dude. He was a local, and he kept snaking her, and he fucking punched her in the face in the water, and then like went off on her in the parking lot about like, oh, they're locals, blah blah blah. Dude, okay,
that's so stupid.
All right, cool, I get it. This isn't fucking 1972. Yeah. Second of all, this is a shot to all these fucking local motherfuckers. Dude, you're very fucking privileged if you live on a fucking beach in 2023, all right? Period. It's not, obviously, most of the time it's not your fucking
it's just
hard work that it's your parents' hard fucking work that has you living on that beach. So don't be a fucking dick, dude.
Well, it's kind of like gang members in LA,
but they're
fighting over 63rd Street, and they don't fucking own it.
Gang members, that's all they have is their block. Yeah. All right? That's their world. These motherfuckers, these little fucks, this is not every surfer who lives on the beach, all right? There's plenty of cool surfers, but I've had a brush-in with a couple people like that at Wrightsville.
I haven't met anybody at Wrightsville.
Like I said, I think people just don't
lives there.
People, well, I'm a ginger. I get treated differently regardless.
They all no. I think that. Listen, man. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
I think you have a defense mechanism.
I do.
Built in,
for sure.
And it maybe stems from being bullied as a kid.
Yeah.
Maybe being the new kid. I don't know what it is, but. So yesterday, for instance, you were like, oh, that guy's being a dick. But I talked to the dude.
Well, Fabio, we'll call him.
Yeah. The first guy, well, he's dark-haired guy.
Fabio, yeah.
Yeah,
with
Fabio,
the nice hair, perfect hair. And
he was a cool guy, man. He said, hey, I was taking a break. I just paddled out. You know, when I paddle out, especially yesterday, I got stuck. Sometimes, even on a clean day, you can get stuck in the fucking impact zone.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You get pushed back, especially on a longboard. You know, you get pushed back, you miss it, and then you're like tired, so you take a break, and then so anyway, I got out there, and I got up on my board, and I was like, whew, I need like a 10-minute break. And he fucking paddled, and he was like, hey, I'm just going to go.
To you. All right. Let me tell you what he did to me.
Okay.
All right. So I actually said what's up and good morning to him in the parking lot. And he kind of blew me off at first. But then, you know, Eli, our buddy out there, I heard them talking about Eli. And everybody was asking if they'd seen Eli because he apparently hasn't been out there for months and everybody's concerned. There's the other guy that starts with Eli that I know. And I'm not like, he's not my homie or anything. I know who he is. And every time I see him out there, he always says what's up to me and I say what's up to him. But then this guy, Fabio, showed up with his dad, I guess. I'm going to assume it was his dad, older guy. And I said, good morning. He didn't say nothing to me. And then he walked back to his car. This was as I was getting ready. And he kind of just looked at me. And then I heard them talking about Eli. And I was like, man, no, I was just trying to be polite, you know, make conversation because that's how I am. I try to get to a feel for everybody around me. And we're all going to be surfing together for the next couple hours. And I just tried to make small talk. And so I saw him and I was like, oh man, I guess everybody's looking for Eli. And that's when his dad said, oh yeah, nobody's seen him for months. Kind of worried about him for someone who's compassionate about surfing like him.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird for him not to be around.
Maybe the weather.
But anyhow, so back to Fabio, we're out in the lineup and I'm over in my area. I stayed in my spot the whole time. I didn't go to the left. I didn't go to the right until later. And there was a couple waves. I let him get his waves and he went right past me. Fine. And then he paddled back. But there was a couple I went for and I just didn't get them. And I was like, fuck, really loud. Right. So I was like, I was frustrated, but I still sat in my own area. All right. After that, I noticed he was talking to this dude to the left of us and they kept looking at me. Right. And then I finally got one wave. I caught it, paddled right back out to where I was. He comes out paddles right next to me, paddles right in front of me as waves are coming in and catches a wave.
Were you going after the wave?
No, but still. He didn't say like, oh, excuse me or anything like he did with you. He just straight up back paddled me. And he did it like 3 or 4 times after that. So I was like, whatever, man.
But were you going for the wave?
I wasn't at that time. I would have if he hadn't done that.
I mean, so here's the deal. If I don't know you and we're both sitting in the same wave, okay, the same area.
He wasn't sitting in the same wave. As the wave starts coming, so he paddles right in front of me. Like he went around, he waited till he was right on me and went around me in front of me. Here's me. He went like this and caught that wave. That's back paddling.
Maybe he is a douchebag.
Yeah.
You know, they're out there. But I'll give you an instance like Prince. We were surfing with Prince yesterday. The guy with the glasses on. The long hair.
Thinking like Purple Rain.
Well, he looks like Prince. Yeah. You know, he had the hair. He had the face.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
He looks like fucking Prince.
Brought up Prince, dog.
Yeah, the glasses.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know,
coolest motherfucker in the lineup.
So I went out there and I got him in between him and that other dude with the blonde hair.
Yeah. That guy was getting pissed too. But not at anybody, just at himself.
Yeah, because he was on a fucking shortboard.
He was catching him, though.
Matter of fact, when you said, I'm going to get my shortboard, we all kind of looked at each other. He was like, why would you do that? If you're not catching him on a 7-footer, why would you get a shorter board? I said, he just loves his motherfucking shortboard, so just let him have it. He was getting pissed. But he was catching him. But anyway, I wasn't paying attention. I let Prince go. There's a wave coming. He was out there first. Then I checked, and then the other guy. So I kind of thought we got in this rhythm. And I got on a fucking wave. And of course, I'm regular footed, so I'm looking south.
Oh yeah.
And I look over to my left, and Prince is right there.
Yeah,
on the same fucking wave.
Yeah.
And he almost ran into me.
He went left. You went right.
Yeah, but he ended up coming back. I mean,
yeah.
I looked over and he was right there, and we both ditched the wave at the same time. And I grabbed my board. And I don't care, but I think, okay, did I jump in front of him and he just went, threw me a shotgun. I was like, party wave. It was all good.
Sweet. That's good.
You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
Because I'm not mad about that. I don't care. As long as you don't, even if you hit me, as long as I don't get hurt and you're not being a dick, accidents fucking happen.
Right.
It's not my beach. If I'm out there and you come and paddle up next to me, well, hopefully you're doing that because I picked the good wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I try to respect people, but yesterday morning before you got there, I met Martin, and we start walking down, and he's like, he's been surfing 30 years, so I'm giving him the priority. Like, where do you want to go? What do you think?
Yeah, he's been consistently surfing 30 years.
Yeah. He grew up at like the Outer Banks,
cool
and he's
dude,
been
by
surfing.
The way, man.
Yeah.
That beard is epic.
Yeah, right.
Like, real quick, the sun comes up obviously the east here, so you see in the morning
silhouettes.
you see a silhouette. So I get out there and I just see this freaking like 4-foot beard.
Yeah,
not that long, but I just see this beard in the light. I'm like, whoa, that's fucking badass. And sure enough, it's Buddy's
beard's
homie,
about as big as. Well, I mean, I just met him.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man.
You know, he's just a cool dude. And,
good surfer too,
and he's good, and he's nice, and he's really laid back and cool. But so he said that this wave right here was like the best one he could see, but there were like 7 people. I was like, bet, let's go. Like I'm not gonna. There was enough room.
Yeah,
everybody was spread out. So that's the way I am. I go out there. I say good morning. I say what's up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'll get a feeling from that. I give respect first.
Exactly.
I don't go out there and expect everybody to respect me. You know what I'm saying? Right. I go out there and I give respect, and normally I get it. And I've never had an issue. I've never had. Now I've gone out there. I've been out there where. Yeah, I sat next to a guy the whole time, maybe an hour, and we didn't say one word to each other. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't talking to him. I was just, hey, we're out here.
And some people are out there just to be out there, and they don't want to. They're not out there to say hi to everybody. Yeah. They're just out there to surf, and I get that too. So because there's definitely dudes like that, but there are guys that are slick, and that passive aggressiveness. I hate fucking passive aggressive.
That's a douchebag. Like, you know,
that's the thing.
If I ever win the lottery, I always say when I win the lottery, I'm going to hire a team, 4 guys to follow me around everywhere I go in a car. No matter what, and their whole fucking job is they're going to live nice. They're going to drive nice cars. They're going to have to wear nice clothes. They're going to live in the fat house. They're going to get paid a lot of money, like 6 figures. And their only fucking job is when I see somebody in traffic that needs their ass kicked, they're going to go fuck them up. discreetly, hopefully, but film it so we can put it on YouTube and WorldStar and let the world know why these people are getting beat down. And then if they go to jail, hell, I'm a fucking millionaire. I'll just get you a good pay lawyer.
There you go.
You know, Leibowitz, they'll get you out. We'll pay your bail. You don't have to worry about being a felon. I'm fucking millionaire for life.
There you go.
So what I'll have them do also is I'll have a little, like a squirrel team, like 2-man team, sit on the beach. So when I fucking find that guy that's being a passive-aggressive douchebag, I can kick his ass.
But you know another thing, too, and I pointed this out, like, the world according to Ginger is a lot different than the world according to everybody else.
It's because you ain't got no soul, man.
People don't like redheads. Guys, all right? Girls, y'all on a different level. Redheaded girls they don't have to deal with the bullshit. But
some guys.
A redheaded dude walks into a room and already everybody in the room fucking hates his guts.
You know, the only time I notice a fucking redheaded guy is only if I'm friends with him and I just want to make fun of him because Ginger's just a thing.
Well, that's the thing, though.
You don't have no soul.
So,
but if that was the thing to say to a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy, then I would do that too. I
don't think people hate blonde-haired, blue-eyed people as much as they hate
they
gingers.
Fucking the world. I don't know who does the fucking polling, but some guy gets paid by the government to fucking go around the world and poll people to see who the most beautiful people in the world are.
Oh,
all through the world, not just in white bread America or Europe. I'm talking Africa, Asia, and for some reason, blonde hair and blue eyes wins it.
So
now I got a friend of mine who's got dark hair, tan skin, and fucking like crystal clear blue eyes. I'm like, I hate your fucking guts. How come I didn't get fucking blue eyes?
Well,
you know?
How come I didn't? My dad has blue eyes, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, I guess that just goes back to what we were talking about. How like I pick up on vibes a lot, even though you think it might be in my head.
I think that you're just wrong about it.
I could be, but it's just how I'm programmed.
I'm programmed to walk into a room and inadvertently take it over, and I don't say that as like being conceited. I get into flow. I meet people real easy. That's what makes me a good salesman. I can walk into your house, never have met you before, and as soon as I walk in, the initial, hey, how you doing? Yep. I'm looking around your house. Okay. If I see 101st Airborne on the wall, I'm going to be like, oh, so what kind of pogue are you? And that's a joke. It's like breaks the ice. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to my buddy. David's over here in the corner. He's back. I can't say where he was.
I'm pissed at all my friends.
He's in the 101st. He's a badass dude.
Yeah. That's why 101st was on my brain.
Robeson County's finest.
Yeah. But I'm pissed at all my friends. Any of my friends that are watching this right now, y'all can eat fucking fat dicks because twice in the last 2 weeks, you've had friends just pop in on you unannounced.
That's how. See that's one thing. I may have a
none of my friends do that, so I don't have any friends.
Because you're a fucking asshole. No, I'm just kidding, dude. No,
that's probably
buddy, dude. No, I got good homies, man. And like I said, if you're my friend, like you're my friend, period. Like if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. I don't fuck with a lot of people. Yeah. So it's kind of a blessing, man.
That is a blessing to have somebody just pop in unannounced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So. That's just, my close friends are like that. And I love it. Cause like I'll be having the worst fucking day. And it used to happen a lot. Cause I used to live, when I lived in Raleigh, I was on the way home from one of my best friends. Like he would come home every day at 4 and he would drive right past my house. And this is when I was having a real hard time adjusting from the Army and all this woe is me bullshit that every vet goes through when they get out, especially if they had a career. I don't know. I want to talk about that sometime because you were a first termer.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But,
I was never in the military for a career.
Right. And
I was punching a ticket and I did not go in and ever think that I was going to make it a full-time career unless I would have went the special forces route and all that stuff. But it was never on my brain. I wanted to get the military experience. I wanted to get all the lickies and chewies that I could, and then go have a career in the security and executive protection arena.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a lifestyle still that you get used to, and you have a purpose. And when you do it for years, there's a connection I find that's hard to find sometimes between my friends who are just first termers. And there's nothing wrong with being a first termer. We just call it first termers, one enlistment or two enlistments. But sometimes when I'm going through my stuff and I try to like reach out to my buddies, for instance, who were in the Army as a E4. I mean, I was a career guy. I was a professional NCO for like over 10 years. Sometimes I feel like some vets can't relate to guys who are career wise, and guys who are career have a hard time adjusting more than guys who are just first termers. And that's normal.
I think because I'll tell you this, most of the people that I know that are career guys, and I'll use a quote from my father because, my dad's career was it wasn't an accident, but it was kind of an accident. Like he joined the military. He didn't know what a Ranger was.
Yeah.
I think he saw Green Berets in the movies. He didn't know, Ranger Battalion was forming, and he just happened to be in the right place at the right time when Art Cobb was up here trying to get people from the 82nd, and he got to be a plank holder in Ranger Battalion. He had just got to Special Forces at a Ranger Battalion when they were forming Delta, and he just kind of happened into it. He's kind of walking by and heard about it and was like, hey, what are you guys doing? And it was Country Grimes, one of the original guys in Beckwith.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, you just got to do all this. And he was so motivated to complete these tasks because he didn't have anywhere else to go. His home life was shitty. He was getting away from his home life.
Yeah.
So most of the guys, and I don't mean that everybody that's a career soldier comes from a shitty home, but most of the guys, they didn't grow up rich.
Right.
They're blue collared, and they don't want to work in the coal mine because that's all they know. That's what they don't want to work in the steel mill. They just know that they don't want to do shift work, or they don't want to be a welder or whatever. So they join the military, and they get there, and every 2 weeks they get a paycheck. If you hang around long enough, you're going to move up. If you fuck up enough, you'll move. You know what I'm saying? Or if you really do good, you can really advance and be an important person.
Yes, and make a difference.
Where you can be a fucking sergeant major who, a sergeant major in the 82nd Airborne, that's the only fucking infantry division that I was ever in. He's like fucking God. When he walks down the sidewalk, if you're sitting around doing nothing, you get busy real quick because you don't want to be doing nothing when Smadge walks by. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But when he gets out, he's, one of my sergeant majors was putting fucking lawnmowers together at fucking Lowe's at night.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of like, and he was happy. He's got a nice retirement for a blue collared guy. Yep. But I'm looking at this man that used to command so much fucking respect, and maybe not respect out of admiration, but respect out of fucking power and rank. Right. You know what I mean? But we had a fucking sergeant major named Padilla, and he was a fucking dick, man. Puerto Rican guy, fucking heavy accent, and he was just a dick, So when you saw him coming, you got busy. You started picking up cigarette butts if you knew it was good for you, because he hated smokers.
Yeah.
And this is still when people were throwing cigarette butts on the ground like it was nothing. And so you started picking up cigarette butts because he was one of them sergeant majors to be like, that's what I mean. That's a good soldier. Go tell your platoon sergeant. Just some bullshit. Like he belonged in TRADOC. He didn't belong
garrison sergeant.
He didn't belong in fucking 2505.
Oh yeah. But I guess
so. You were. I can tell you were never a fucking NCO in the 82nd. I know that.
No, I'm just never in the 82nd.
I know, but I can tell without you telling me that. You know why?
Why is that?
Because we're on time.
Yeah.
The 82nd boys are on time.
Well,
and you haven't been on time for anything. And I'm not.
Sucks.
I think it's not a point. It's a point of like harassment, like a joke. It's not a point of contention. I'm not like, oh, Brennan's a dick, but I'll tell motherfuckers right away. Be like, yeah, Brennan. I was like, yeah. You better smoke cigarette.
Yeah. Hey, it's true though. I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened, man. Like I used to be 10 minutes prior to 10 minutes prior was always my thing. You know, in the art, I guess it's just like I said.
Even to this day, even call me a first short term or whatever. Even to this day,
but you're always
15 minutes early.
Like always. And no, it's something as a human I need to get back into being punctual. That's a good value to have. Yeah. It's always good to be on time and prepared, always. But I've been, I used to be real stringent about sticking to that shit, but being retired.
But we haven't had any time hacks where you had to be there where money was on the line.
No. Oh, if it's money, yeah. If it's my job, well,
Well, this is not, we're not making any money doing this.
Yeah,
this
but still, it's something that
it can.
We put a lot of effort into. We're in a professional studio.
Yeah.
So I try, but
there's still, it's not like if we don't go on at a certain time, it's going to start costing money. So
right.
If it was like money involved, like if we were somehow involved in a business venture and I had to break away I had to plan my day to be here at 9:00 because you were going to be there at 9:00. You show up at 9:30. The first time you got an excuse. Okay. Second time.
Oh yeah. That's
you're
it.
Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got like my time's money during the day, especially now with fucking surfing, I got to get like at least 2 days a week.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's only 5 days in a goddamn week. And sometimes I can work on Sundays, but like Saturdays are like where I got, maybe mama's not working, kids got off school. So you got to spend time with your family. You got to do that or maybe clean your house. So I'm really working inside of 3 days a week. So I got those 3 days that I'm working from 7 to 7 because I'm running around. And if I have to fucking go to Rayford to meet you, and you're fucking late twice, I'm not going to fire you because I need to get the job done, but I won't pull you back on another job.
Right.
Because that's just like, to me, that's when you start, that's disrespectful. Like,
you
don't value my time enough to show up on time, and you want me to continuously make you money by hiring you to do these, whatever your skill is.
And that's
which is why I have all South Americans. I have one crew left that are Americans because I won't, and people are, they think it's because you just pay those Mexicans less money. No, I pay them more money. Mm-hmm. They're the better value. That's the thing. The Mexican guys, I'll say South Americans because they're not all Mexican. That's kind of generalizing. A lot of the guys are Guatemalan around here, but they tell you they're Mexican because they know you only know what a Mexican is.
Yeah.
But they know their worth. They know that, like, I'm not doing that for that price. You go get you a gringo to do that.
Yeah. But just as a respect, like I said, like I got to get better at that just for respect. Like that's just, to me, I feel so disrespectful when I don't show up when I say I'm supposed to be somewhere and when I'm supposed to be somewhere.
Well, it must not stick because you're always fucking late. When's it gonna kick?
Dude, I've been making an effort.
That's like apologizing for the same thing every day.
David over there, David, it's not just you. David, are these valid words that Buddy is saying right now? No, I'm saying like I do good at showing up fucking 20 minutes after the time I'm supposed to be there or an hour. Yeah. But
well, wait a minute. So before how do you know this guy?
I've known David through Civil War stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I met him
not in the Army or nothing like that.
No, but I've been with David. David's kind of like I see him. He's like a little brother to me, man. Mm-hmm. He's a kid that I really am proud of him, and I like took him under my wing, and he joined the Army. I've been with him through his whole Army career, and we just became like best friends.
Why didn't you talk him into getting a real job and going 11 Bravo or something?
I've been trying, but
or at least Airborne. Like you're a shitty fucking mentor.
No,
he's a leg and a poke.
Yeah,
that's smart.
David's got he's got what it takes.
You've got a profession that it's one of the only professions when you get out of the Army where you can go make some really good money.
There you go. Yeah. And he's just a good dude. I'm gonna blow your head up here real quick, but David's just a good kid, man. I met him when what's that? Not a leg though. He's not a leg. No, he's definitely not a leg. He jumps.
Oh,
yeah. So
are you on jump status?
Not right now.
Oh,
well, he's at Campbell, but he was in the 82nd, with the 82nd. Yeah. So
I like how you threw that in there. Like, say what you want about me, but don't call me no fucking leg. But
oh man, I gotta tell you about his first jump.
I ain't no 5 jump zombie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
So he's on it, man. But I'll tell you about his first jump. So his first jump, I was there. So it's funny because like I said, I've been following David like you're a fucking social media account. No, David and I became friends in 2015. Mm-hmm. I come up for a Civil War reenactment up here at Bentonville, and I don't. It's funny because he remembers me vividly. Now I do remember him, but it wasn't like there were so many people I met that week, and I was like, oh shit, that's David. But it clicked on me that that was you that time. But we became really, really good friends and really close, and we've been through a lot together, man. We've been there for each other. But
cool.
I'll never forget his first jump. This is funny about Fayetteville. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to find a fucking cherry pie in this town at 4 a.m.
Oh,
because we bought. It was great. He got broken in the right way. So
in this town,
yeah.
Where was your first jump?
No, his jump was here. But I'm saying like there's cherry.
Why didn't he first jump in fucking Benning?
Well, his first division jump.
Cherry
jump.
Yeah, blast. Okay.
So I didn't even think about it.
Cherry blast.
He really wanted me to be there for his first jump, so he called me, and it was like something. It was like what 4:15 in the morning or some shit. It was early. I was there on time though.
Yeah, were you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, because I met him at the harness shed. But we packed his fucking pockets full, man. Like, I think you had like what 15 cherry pies or some shit. And it's funny because he's like, "Well, I did it," and he jumped, and he's like, "And while I waited, I had something to eat."
Yeah.
So, but man,
I would have ate it. Yeah.
I had to go to like 3 different gas stations because they had fucking lemon pies. The lemon pies were full. But and let's explain what that is real quick. So.
I'm looking at y'all like, okay, I know what a cherry is.
Yeah.
And I know back in the day they used to fucking like give you a red
helmet,
a red Kevlar, a helmet, but they didn't do that when I was in, and I don't know nothing about the cherry pie.
Well, maybe it's a newer tradition, but
yeah.
The thing to do now
or
is,
it maybe not because I'm gonna tell you in the infantry, it was like 50 years behind. Like everywhere else in the Army, I was in the National Guard before, and this kind of fucked me up on my first day in the Army. My sergeant major, I called him Sergeant Edge. Everybody else called him Bill. Everybody else because it's National Guard.
Oh, National Guard.
And I got to the National Guard in '96, and they were like camping. 96, 97 is when they started. National Guard had to be ready because they called them up during the Gulf War, and they were just so fucking ate up. They were like some soup sandwiches.
Oh, man, there were dudes that, check this out, bro. In 03, when the war started, I'll never fucking forget this in my entire life. This is when I really, National Guard did work in World War II. Like most of the Army in World War II, World War I, it was all National Guard doing the fighting. But there were units in Georgia that were activated to go into Iraq in 03 that had not been activated since like World War II. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting at CIF, right? I'm getting all my shit, and these dudes, there's a National Guard, like I think it was an MP unit. And the whole purpose of this unit was they were activated not even to go to Iraq. They were activated to pull gate guard while we were gone, right? These dudes are in there, and I'll never, dude, to this day, this is hilarious. There's a big old fat dude, right? And they gave him a pistol belt, and it wouldn't fit. And to me, at the time, everyone talks shit about the National Guard. Like, to me, in my head, as, Specialist Wheatley in fucking 2003, I was just in my head, I'm like, oh my fucking, that's the National Guard for you folks. And like, they're like, and the guy was like, well, we can put 2 of them together. And they put 2 of them together, and they still didn't fit. And the guy's like, well, that's all I can do for you, buddy. He's like, you're gonna have to go off post and get these extenders.
Go lose some fucking weight.
Do you remember the extensions they had?
Yeah.
But
I never needed them.
Sure enough, dude, like, yeah, when 03, when all the units were called up to go, the active duty units, because gate guard back at Benning was all active duty MPs, and the MPs were like gone. They were gone already. So they called this old Podunk, Georgia National Guard unit that, and I overheard one of the guys like talking. That's how I knew. They're like, man, we haven't been called up since World War II. So these guys are literally at vacation.
I'm surprised they were that ate up because after the first Gulf War, because the National Guard was so fucked up, there was just most of them, they didn't know shit. They're not even qualifying. People were just signing their slips, like they went to the range. So there was a new mandate, and National Guard units, at least the one that I was in the one here in the 30th here in Fayetteville. Yeah. And our battalion commander was an active duty Army assigned to the National Guard. Now, he was a prick, but the whole notion was we actually, now when I got there, we went to the range. I was in 19 kilos, so a tanker. So we went to the tank tables out there in Area Z. Oh. We had to qualify, and we did actually do Army shit. Whereas a lot of the older guys that have been around, these fucking guys that are like 45 and they're still E4s. Yeah. because they're not going to no goddamn PLDC or whatever it's called now, WLC. What's it called now? PLC?
BLC?
BLC. It used to be platoon leader or something, but PLDC. But
yeah, PLDC.
Yeah, in order to make E5, it ain't
primary leadership.
It ain't like the fucking Marine Corps. They just give it to you. In the Army, you got to go to the fucking school for the shit. And some of these National Guard guys, they're not fucking going. So they're 45 years old. They're E4s. They're dicked up. They're overweight. But they started weeding that out. And I forgot why we even got on the subject. I went to
we started talking about Army shit.
Yeah, so anyway, they were still laid back in the sense of, even though we were training, and you had to pass BLM and all that shit, or qualifications, not BLM.
BRM.
That's the or BRM. That's the initial. You had to qualify and you had to pass. Okay. I went to Benning to reclass, and they put me in a separate bay. So I was separated from all of the Joes, and I was cooler than them because, I'm an E4, and I've been, even though it's National Guard, I don't have to do all the bullshit. So I go to jump school, and because I'm an E4, my jump school, I had to wait 2 months to go to jump school. It was holdover. We had to go to jump school holdover for 2 months because there was a fucking backlog right after 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
All the high school kids, it was to the point where you took a PT test, and if you failed it, you didn't go to jump school. They took the highest scores to make a jump school class. So I was in charge of all of these privates, like 3 platoons worth, just giving them details because, during the day, you got to stay busy.
You're right.
That just kept me out of doing detail. But I get through jump school, and then I get to the 82nd. Okay, now I'm finally through with all these drill sergeants. I'm finally home, right? And I fucking go in, and my platoon sergeant is asking me a question. He's like, "Do I need to get you barracks? Because you're married, with your wife and family." I said, "No, I'm from here. I already got a house. I don't need barracks." And he looks at Sergeant Cox, and he's like, I can't hear you.
Oh. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm serious. Now, there's a lot of people talking and going, and new privates, cherries are in here. Yeah. And he's like, I said, "Well, Sergeant, you don't have to get me no housing. I don't need a barracks. I've got a house." And he looked at Sergeant Cox. I said, I still can't hear this motherfucker. So I raise my voice, and he's like, "God damn it. I ain't fucking death specialist. You stand at fucking parade rest when you talk to an NCO and the executive." And I thought the guy was joking. Like, I thought he was hazing me. This is an E7, and I'm growing up around the military. I'm not fazed by an E7 in the 82nd. You know what I mean? I'm just not fazed by it. I don't respect, right? No. No. And that put a bad taste in my platoon sergeant, who's a well-respected, well-loved guy, even to this day. I mean, he went on to be the sergeant major at Ranger Training Brigade, RTB.
Okay. Yeah, RTB.
He was a Ranger guy, scroll and all that, and everybody liked him. I thought he was a bit of a dick because of that incident. And then, like a week later, my brother was getting married, and so after all that, we got signed in, and I said, "Hey, look, my brother's getting married. They need me to RSVP. Am I going to be able to make it? I don't need no leave. I'm from here. It's on a Saturday. Just, I don't know if I may get called for staff duty or, because I'm a new guy." He said, "Well, they assigned me to MEVA Guard, which was guarding, checking IDs at the airport. Oh, new guys, you're going on the shit detail. I'll see you in a week." So he said, "You check with the sergeant of the guard there. You're good to go. It doesn't confront me none." So I went and checked in. Young E5, told him the situation. I was fucking older than he was because I went active duty at like 24, 25, 26. And he was cool with it. He was like, "Yeah, I don't care." We fucking couple guys like, "Yeah, I'll take your shift." And we didn't report to our battalion at all. We just went straight to the hospital. Well, the fucking the Thursday before the Saturday, everything's paid for, tux is rented, plates paid for, the rehearsal's all done. I get a fucking phone call at like midnight, and it's my fucking squad leader who I've never met. I've been assigned to he's my team leader. I haven't been assigned. I don't know these people yet because I spent one day here checking in, and then I went off to MEVA Guard. He calls me and tells me to come in, get a packing list. We're going to Robin Sage. Now, I know what Robin Sage is because I grew up around here, and I'm thinking, okay, hey, Sart, I'm on MEVA Guard. He's like, "Yeah, we're pulling you guys off MEVA Guard." I said, "Okay, cool. But, Saturday." Now, this is a fucking douchebag. This fucking guy, Sergeant fucking Craig, a good soldier. I will say that right now. He was a good soldier, but he was a fucking dick. Okay? And I hated his guts because he was the prick NCO. Like, I'm going to be a douchebag to you because I can. And if you fight me over it, first of all, the guy was huge. I'm not fighting him, but if you do fight me over it, you're getting in trouble for it because that's he was one of those guys, right? From Missouri, not Missouri. Oh, yeah, I said Ewins and shit. Anyway, I said Ewins instead of y'all. They say Ewins or Yuns.
Yins?
Yeah,
no, that's
Yins.
what Randy says. Yins.
Yeah, well, that's Pennsylvania.
Yins. Yep.
Anyway, let me speed this story up.
Sorry.
I tell him, hey, look, you know, blah, blah, blah. I got this wedding. I already cleared it, you know. So he's like, you got to go talk to the platoon sergeant about that. Well, here I go walking into the platoon sergeant's office. He says, hey, man, this is the fucking Army. Welcome to the infantry. You know, you're going to miss birthdays and shit like that. You got to go. So, okay. Get home, get my packing list, call my dad, say, hey, look, scratch me off the fucking list. I can't make it. He's like, for what? I said, I got to go to Robin Sage. He's like, yeah, but you're being detailed. It's not like he said, if you were going to train, okay, but you're going to sit around a campfire and get detailed to be Op 4. That's no big deal. Go talk to your first sergeant. I was like, Dad, the Army's not the same, man. I can't jump my fucking platoon sergeant and go talk to my first sergeant because I'm not happy with the decision he made. I'm not doing that. Just scratch me off the list. He's like, all right. You just keep your mouth shut and go do what you're doing. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I go to Robin Sage. And Friday, after doing nothing for 2 days, we're playing cards. And the platoon sergeants all walk down to the area where we're bivouacked. I guess you want to call it.
I know where you. Oh, I hated you in the Army, but I got you.
I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. I don't know what's going on. And all the platoon sergeants walk in, and everybody gets kind of nervous. Like, I'm playing cards with my squad leader, E6. He's my squad leader, Sergeant Carroll. And he said, no, so they you know, he jokes around, makes a few comments. He goes, so who the fuck is Feeney? And Sergeant Carroll looks at me and tells me to, like, stay still. Don't say nothing. And he jumps up from the bench and goes over there and goes, hey, he's mine. And they walk off behind the trees.
He told you to stay still, don't say nothing because he knew you probably did something really stupid.
I had no idea what's going on. Now, I'm playing cards. I'm talking shit. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe because I got pulled off Meva Guard, I didn't show up for Meva Guard, I'm being counted as AWOL somewhere. This is what I'm assuming. Sergeant Carroll comes back. We start playing cards. I don't even ask them what the fuck they wanted. I just figured I knew. And about 5 minutes later, he goes, so Feeney, your brother getting married?
Oh.
I said, yeah, well, I was supposed to go Saturday, but, you know, I can't, you know, whatever. It is what it is. He goes, oh, you're fucking going. He said, you're fucking going. And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean? He was like, well, first sergeant wants to see you in the command post, the CP. So, fuck. I already know what happened. I already know what my dad did.
Oh, yeah.
I knew. But I didn't know he was going to do it. But as soon as I'm walking up there and I'm like, okay, no big deal. They're just fucking with me. They're not really going to be mad over this shit. Okay, so backstory: Sergeant Major Steve England was the 18th Airborne Corps Sergeant Major. Mm-hmm. He was my dad's machine gunner in Ranger Battalion when my dad was the weapons squad leader. Mm-hmm. So they're buddies, you know? So he called him up.
Oh, shit. You were that guy, huh?
Well, yeah. Steve England, if you knew him, if you knew how he was like, if you had reference Don Purdy, but you guys don't know him. He was not.
I know of Don Purdy.
Yeah, he was a very gruff guy. Mm-hmm. Like, he didn't get his aide to contact 82nd Command to send the fucking word down. Mm-hmm. He called the battalion looking for my fucking Sergeant Major. Mm. And they said, well, they're all out at Robin Sage. Here's the number to the white phone. That's what they called it. Jeez. He called directly. Yeah. And he talked to my first sergeant. And my first sergeant don't know who the fuck I am.
Right.
And so now he's like, well, you know, I'm going to be at this wedding. This is all verbatim. This is all after the fact how I heard. My first sergeant told me how it went down. He goes, I'm going to be at a wedding this weekend, and one of your soldiers out there was supposed to be there, but tells me he can't make it because he's got to be at Robin Sage. He said, first sergeant, you can take care of that for me, right? Yeah. First sergeant's like, well, Roger, fucking, who am I talking to again? It's the Corps Sergeant Major. So I walk into the CP, and I know, you know, and they're sitting around. And I said, look, I ain't going. I'm not going. I didn't know this was going to happen. I'm playing dumb. Like, I know that my dad did something, you know. And he was like, oh, you're fucking going. Go get your shit and get in my truck.
Oh, shit.
And he drove me from fucking Southern Pines and didn't say a fucking word the whole time.
Oh, man, that had to be the worst ride of your life.
It was like awkward. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. Fuck this guy. You know, his name's fucking Leg anyway. First Sergeant Leg. And he was a dick, you know, fuck him. So I go to the wedding. I get done Saturday night. They tell me to be back. I get picked up by all the platoon sergeants that are in to take a shower and get some pokey bait and like fuck their wives, pet the dog. And then they were going back. I got to catch a ride with them. So again, I'm thinking, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I get in the back of the van and my platoon sergeant, Sergeant Purdue, that's his name. He was like, so did you enjoy the wedding? I'm like, yeah, it was all right. I couldn't drink or nothing like that, even though I did. Yeah. And told him I didn't. He goes, okay, well, from here on out, you think I can run my platoon?
Oh, damn.
And I was like, ooh. I wanted, again, because it's in my nature to explain myself.
Yeah.
But I was like, Roger Sergeant. And then from that point on, Sergeant Major kick out some fucking bulletin. Hey, we got to send some guys to field sanitation school.
The guy,
their last name's got to be between T and Z. Hey, I got one for you. It's Feeney, but
Feeney
T
with
is silent. Or we got or NBC school or some bullshit that nobody wanted to do. And that's how I ended up in the scout platoon.
Oh man. Oh, okay.
So it kind of worked out in my favor, but I didn't belong in the scout platoon.
Right.
You know what I mean? But anyway, that's enough of my long story.
No.
That just shows you the kind of experience that I had in the fucking army.
Oh, yeah. It's great though, because like you had a completely similar in some senses, but you had the E4 experience, and it's good to hear about that. And then I had the the E6 experience. So it's just it's really funny, dude. But yeah, like that kind of shit, man.
It goes to show, like, my platoon sergeant didn't like me and I did not like him, but I always respected him because I understood why. But he never, because he's got, and again, to his credit, he's a good soldier, I think, maybe. We did more work than those fuckers did when we were deployed.
Oh, yeah.
We did all the fucking work. And they kept us out at Asadabad. We were supposed to go to the FOB for like a month and then cycle back to Bagram for a month. But because they were away from command, and they could play Monopoly on the fucking thing, they volunteered us to stay at Asadabad for 6 out of the 9 months we were there in a FOB, eating T-rats, no running water.
Yeah.
In retrospect, it was probably better. But, we're young. We want to be at the PX. We want to fucking use the fucking phone. We couldn't. There was no phone or no internet at this FOB at this time. You were completely, you couldn't talk to your family.
That was like weird. I don't want to sidetrack too much about Army shit because we're talking about surfing, and I want to get back into surfing a little bit. Mm-hmm. Actually, how long have we been going for?
Not long enough. Keep going.
Yeah, you're right. But you were in like weird Afghanistan. It was like that transition period when it was still shit going on over there, but it wasn't like the focus. Afghanistan picked up in like 2007, 2008. That's when it was like, oh fuck, if you're going to Afghanistan, you're gonna die, motherfucker.
Yeah,
you're gonna come back fucking wounded or dead. But you were there in what, 04?
02, 03.
02, holy shit. So yeah, that was like, that was a weird transition
We
point.
got there in December of 02 and we left in September of 03.
Yeah.
And then we left again in December of 03 and we came to Iraq and then we came back in May of 04.
And that's when you went into contract. Yeah, that's like.
And then I got out because I was up for reenlistment.
Right.
But I was under a bar. This is the thing. My fucking Army career was like a big fucking, it wasn't a career, but my stint in the Army was a series of events because my mouth. I don't roll over.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I
true
mean?
though. No,
like I told my platoon sergeant one time, I said, look, I want out. I went to the scout platoon, okay? I was in the scout platoon for a year, I guess, or 6-7 months, and you got to go to Ranger school, okay?
Real quick, man, it's funny because there's a soldier. When I was an NCO and I was in charge of a platoon, you always have like, there's that soldier. There's the shitbag soldier. There's the fucking good soldier who can't fucking get his shit straight. There's the complete asshole who's like smoking weed and shit. Mm-hmm. And then you got your normal guys who do their job.
Yeah.
But then you've always got, I know who you were. You've always got that one guy, and he's a smart, intelligent dude. Mm-hmm. He's a good soldier, but he just fucking he's got too much logic. He shouldn't have joined the Army at 25.
Yeah.
He should join the Army when he was 17 and stayed until he was 20.
Tigerland.
Yeah.
Tigerland.
Tigerland.
I knew fucking.
Yeah, that was Buddy's. To the listeners, that was Buddy's nickname. If you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert, what was it?
Tigerland.
What was the guy that played that guy?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yeah. I mean, you were honestly though, I was that E4 in Korea. Yeah. Like, I was a dude that was fucking E4 Mafia for life. Mm-hmm. But when First Sergeant Commander had to go to Seoul for meetings and they had to leave the unit, no shit, as an E4, like they left me in charge of all the E4 and below. Because that's all it was. They used to have NCODPs where they had to leave and they'd be gone all fucking day. And then we're talking about a company, man. And they'd be like, they would call me and they would call a lieutenant because they had to have an officer in charge because you legally can't, some things I learned about the Army, you legally cannot leave an Army unit without an officer if you have officers.
That's what they exist for.
They found like the lowest second lieutenant and all the NCOs and all the officers, the other officers had to go to NCO and officer DP in Seoul. But there's a couple times, it happened twice where they left me, man. I'll have to tell that story on the podcast one day because it's just it's great. But they left me and a fucking lieutenant in charge of the whole company. But I was at E4, dude, where like I was too cool for school. Mm-hmm. I was genuinely intelligent, but I wasn't Army smart. And I probably stepped on lines a bit, in the Army. I got away with a lot, but I was respected and hated at the same time.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
I was, I knew the limits. Like when I first got there, the whole qualifying, that's for the young privates. That's for the 18-year-olds, the new kids, because they're excited, They want to be accepted. Me, I ain't doing that shit.
Right.
And when they were like trying to threaten me, like, you're going to have to do push-ups or something, I'm like, that's fucking kind of, and this is when hazing it just popped.
Yeah.
Like hazing has been going on for a long time and it still goes on, but this is when it was like anti-hazing.
Yeah.
And I just made a smart comment. I said, I don't know, Sergeant, that sounds like hazing to me. Now I knew it wasn't, and I knew that there's an esprit de corps that's built through doing that, but I'm not the one.
Yeah.
I'm not the one. And most of my leadership were dumbasses. Like seriously.
Yeah.
I went to fucking Afghanistan with a fucking team leader that had tried to kill himself, cut his wrist a week before we left because his wife wouldn't marry, or his girlfriend wouldn't marry him. Oh, I don't want to follow that piece of shit. You're weak, bro.
Yeah.
But because you're in the rank and they kept it quiet. So we had a guy that was in Somalia with the Mogadishu thing as a medic. He got out of the fucking military and became like a fucking PA or ambulance guy. So he knew how to suture shit.
Yeah.
So he I'm not going to say his name because what he did was probably illegal. He stitched them up, like butterflied it, and they kept it quiet. Oh. And all of his buddies, the other NCOs, the other team leaders, they kept it quiet. I didn't know about it when it happened because I was in the scout platoon. I was in selection. I got out of selection. I came back to the 82nd. My fucking platoon sergeant said, "You're not coming back to the scout platoon," because I lied. I told him I told him I was taking all the time off to do my Ranger packet, but I was doing my SF packet. Because if I would have told him I was doing an SF packet, he wouldn't have fucking let me go.
Yeah. And isn't that funny how they honestly, if you were going to do that, there was nothing that could stop them. But that control they have over you sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you think that because a fucking NCO tells me, no, I can't do this. Like, dude, SF is, if you drop your packet, doesn't fucking matter who they are.
SF don't help you drop that packet.
That's true. It can be definitely, someone can fucking be like, nah, fuck that. Go tear that shit up to your S1.
What they'll do is when you're going in the 82nd, when you're going to Ranger school, they give you all the time you need to prepare. You need to ruck, you need to diet, you need to bulk up, you need to go do a physical. If you're going to Ranger school, Golden Road is paved. There's no animosity. Drop an SF packet, and all of a sudden you're on CQ. Hey, Sergeant, I got to go do this fucking physical. For what? No, you can't get it. You know what I'm saying? And they'll fuck with you. Now, they never fucked with me. I don't know that to be true. That's just what I heard.
They probably learned from the wedding incident not to fuck with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is I don't know that they didn't fuck with me because I lied to them. And my platoon sergeant in the scout platoon was a good dude. I hated to lie to him.
Yeah.
And while I was in selection, we got called up for Afghanistan.
Oh, okay.
And I was going back. I had to go back to selection. Okay. I was a 24-day non-select because of a fucking argument I got into with the fucking team leader.
About that. Yep.
So they were like, would you come back in 2 weeks if we told you had to come back in 2 weeks? See if you can get your attitude right. I said, absolutely. They said, okay, see you in 2 weeks. I thought I was calling their bluff. I thought they're gonna be like, okay, well, you can go through, because they really needed people at the time. But they were like, so I get back to the battalion, and Sergeant Miller says, you're not coming back here. You fucking lied. You're going back to the line. And coming from the scout platoon to the line, that's like being cast in with the sodomites. Because the scout platoon was like special. We were off at noon. Our uniform standards were fucking lax.
You guys probably had cool hair even back then.
Everybody thought, everybody thought the scout platoon was where all the cool guys
rock stars. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't a rock star. I didn't belong there. I ended up there because my platoon sergeant wanted to get rid of me. But Sergeant Miller kept me because he thought he could groom me, but I just, obviously he was wrong. Unfortunately, I had to lie to the man. So I get sent to Charlie Company back to Purdue.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God. And fucking Sergeant Craig, again, he's like, yeah, Sergeant Purdue's going to love having you back. And I'm like, oh my God. I went to the Sergeant Major. I said, send me to another company. I got history with this guy. And they're like, nah, he needs the people. And then I thought, I don't care. I'm going to selection in 2 weeks. You guys can go to Afghanistan. Fuck you. I'm not going. And back then, SF orders still trumped everything. Mm-hmm. If you had SF orders, they couldn't tell you anything.
Like actual orders.
Like orders to go to the fucking SFAS or go to the Q course. If you got called up for deployment, you were safe. Okay?
Take notes, David.
No, I don't know. I'll tell you a story about how I found out they got reversed. 6 months later, they reversed it because when we got back from Afghanistan, because I ended up going to Afghanistan, my platoon sergeant, my first sergeant talked me into it, and he was right. Go to SF with a combat patch and some combat time. You're gonna get a lot more respect than being a fucking, just a new guy off the street. Yeah. And I wanted to get a CIB. You know what I mean? And I didn't know how long the war was gonna last, so he talked me into it. It was a good choice. So when I got back, I went right to the SF recruiter and was like, okay. And while I was there, they waived my having to come back. They sent me a letter and said, okay, you can go to the Q course. So just when you get ready, we'll let you go through. Just sign up for the Q course. So I didn't have to go back to SFAS. Mm-hmm. So I got back and I went right to him because I was like, man, there's fucking war popping off in Iraq. And while I was in Afghanistan, we invaded Iraq. So I was like, I want to fucking get in with the fucking SF boys before I have to go back with these knuckleheads. Yeah. Because there's some dumbasses in the infantry.
In the whole army.
Yeah. So we get called up for Iraq. But I had fucking orders. They're like, oh, we're going to go on 30 days block leave. When we come back, we're going to start transition. We're going to go to Iraq. Yeah. I'm laughing. And they told us we were going to get our star on our CIB. So we were all excited about it. Second combat deployment, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like halfway through the deployment that we found out. Nope,
it's one big campaign.
All one war.
Yeah.
But I'm laughing and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going. So we had a new first sergeant, new guy, not a ranger. Most of the first sergeants and sergeant majors and second ranger tabs.
Most of my career, every fucing first sergeant and sergeant major I ever had was a bat guy.
Yeah. Well, this guy that we got. No, I think we got an E7 actually, and he was actually a cool guy. Anyway, long story short, I fucking digress, man. My fucking memory.
It's okay.
I find out from the recruiter. The recruiter calls me, SF recruiter, and says, hey, look, you've got to get clearance. You guys are on orders to deploy. You've got to get clearance from your first sergeant in order to come to the Q course.
Oh.
They changed it on us a couple months ago, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. So I got a new first sergeant. I'm figuring, okay, he doesn't, Purdue's been on leave, block leave, because I didn't go on block leave.
He doesn't know your history.
He doesn't know, he don't know Tigerland's in the house. Mm-hmm. He don't want to fuck me. So he, in very short order. And
I think you should put that on your fucking surfboard.
What?
Tigerland?
Tigerland, yeah. He don't even ask me the parameters. He don't give a fuck where I'm from. Yeah. He don't care about nothing. He just knows he's got a fucking unit that's deploying to Iraq, and he's short-handed.
Yep.
And he said, now why you think, he's a black dude, why you think I'm going to let you go to fucking SFAS when I need people?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Mission first, man. Yep.
And I was stuck. I was going to Iraq with fucking Charlie Company. Now, there were some good dudes in Charlie Company.
With 505th, right?
505th, yeah. There were some good dudes there, man. I to this day, even in 2nd Platoon, there's guys like Josh Penny and John Rudder. We were never in the same anything because they were in 2nd Platoon. But, you cross paths with the platoon. And
dude,
I keep up with them to this day. We had some good dudes, but our leadership, we had some good leadership too. But there was a few guys that had to go. Mm-hmm. And Sergeant, I'm not going to say his name either, but I got a fucking team leader that it just tried to kill himself, and he's supposed to be like...
Oh, in combat?
And he doesn't know...
With soldiers?
He doesn't know, like, what to do out there. Like, I'll give you an example. One time, we were on a fucking observation post overlooking Asadabad, and we were so extended. Like, we were supposed to be gone in 6 months, but they kept extending us every 2 weeks, because all the planes were in Iraq. Getting those boys home for Christmas. You remember that was a fucking big thing. And so we brought our cook with us. That's how lax they were getting. The cook who never fired a rifle outside of fucking qualifying, he's on patrol. Cool guy, super glad to have him. That's how complacent we were. Me and the cook are sitting in fucking chairs on top of a mountain. One guy on fucking security, and rockets fly right. I see a flash, and I'm like, is somebody taking pictures? That's how complacent we were. It's fucking 4 kilometers away, but it's a mountain, so it's right there. And then it hits me. Oh, that ain't no fucking camera. And then you hear, the guidance system on these fucking rockets, and it burned my back. The sparks got me. That's how. It whizzed right over our head. You felt the concussion of this. Whew. So we call it in right away, and then everybody's supposed to go to work, right? Perimeter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fucking squad leader, team leader, fucking saw gunner, everybody collapsed to one side, and now they're shooting a 240 at a fucking where they think the shot came from. They're firing it 3 kilometers. What's tracer burnout is like fucking 1,000 feet or something like that. The 240 does not shoot that far, but they're rocking. And now everybody's wanting to take turns. Like, ooh, give me a turn. And I'm like, holy shit. I grab Simmons. I grab Chang. I guys need to fucking get over here. We need to get fucking security. This could be, you don't ever know.
Yeah.
This could be a fucking, an attack. Maybe we're going to get hit. We got to have security. And I'm yelling at fucking, I'm not going to say his name either because he's a pretty cool dude, but he wasn't a good leader. And I'm like, we got to get fucking, you get over here, get on security. And I had to tell Simmons, I said, look, man, I know you want to go over there, but we need to pull security. We're in a fucking war zone. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
And then, so I know the fucking rocket launch came from here. Okay. The Fister on the other OP 6 kilometers away into the mountain, he knows it came from here. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the forward observer that they give us for this occasion, right? Because when the rocket, something happened, I don't know what it was, maybe a malfunction, it fell down the mountainside. So they saw sparks, and they thought they saw the rocket. They're on the radio calling in Kaz. And he's calling it to this location where there's a village.
Oh, damn.
I know it came from here, and the FO from over here knew it came from there. So, what was his name, man? He was a real weird dude from Portland. Wore like fucking patch pants. And,
back in the,
you know, like he was a white guy that dressed like a black guy from the 60s and drove a 65 like Chevy Bel Air.
It's one of those character, man.
Like a mod. From like Pretty in Pink, like Ducky.
Gotcha.
He was like Ducky. We called him Ducky. But anyway, he's on the radio saying, because Sergeant so-and-so is calling it for fire on this coordinates. And I'm telling him that's not where it came from. That's not where, and I can't get on the fucking radio because I'm already in enough trouble with these guys. I don't want to fuck. But I know that fucking Ducky's calling the right coordinates. I'm like, listen to fucking Sergeant Ducky. But they get on the fucking radio. Fucking Captain fucking Caruso, Lieutenant, but he was a douchebag. Caruso. You know, I'll say his name. He tells the fucking FO, that's not your mission, stay off the radio, to let fucking Sergeant fucking, like, doesn't know the first thing about fucking operations or infantry operations to call and fucking drop fucking Kaz because the mortars wouldn't reach.
Yeah.
They called in Kaz and dropped fucking 500 pounds. I don't know how many people that killed.
God damn.
And then, and dude thought he was a war hero. You know what I mean? That's the kind of people, and I can't sit back and just be the guy in the back of the room that's like, these people are dumb. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. You know? And I get in trouble for that shit. So when they start, I had one NCO one time that was talking shit. And he was right. I was in a bad mood, but I was just waiting. I was just waiting for him to say, y'all motherfuckers. Because that's against AR. That's against Army regulations. Yeah. So I fucking, you know, we had the Molly packs that you could quick release.
Oh God.
I threw that bitch off. And I was like, you done broke your military bearing, so now I can break mine. You want to keep talking shit? There ain't nobody out here except my people, the privates, the fucking saw gunner. We can handle this shit right now. You ain't got to fucking be in the back of the pack talking shit, motherfucker. Yeah. And the fact that you just called me a motherfucker, I was probably wrong. I probably could get in trouble. Backed his ass up.
Yeah.
And like an hour later, he was like, I know it's against Army regulations, Feeney, but I mean, you really don't get offended when I say motherfucker. I was like, no, but I wanted an excuse to kick your fucking ass because you talk too much shit.
Yeah.
And nobody likes you. That's why nobody likes you.
Yeah.
You got to range your tab. Woohoo. I respect it. Most people do, but you're a douchebag. You know? And I tell you what, that incident changed that man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the NCOs didn't like him.
Oh.
So he moved into the fucking.
Wait, he was a lieutenant?
No. He was an NCO.
Oh, okay.
He was an E5.
I thought it was like a platoon.
No, he was an E5. No, E5.
I was about to say.
No. And he moved into our tent. He didn't want to stay with the other E5s because they were shitbags. They didn't want to go to Ranger school.
Yeah.
And his mindset was, if you're a fucking NCO in the infantry and you don't want to go to Ranger school or you don't want to go to Delta Force, you don't want to be then you're a shitbag.
Yeah.
You're just buying your time.
Steps up.
Yeah. If you don't want to keep, and he was right.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that. Not that everybody needs to do it, but if you want to, section off people into coolness, then the guy who wants to achieve the highest level of soldiering is cooler than the guy's happy retiring as an E6.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
You need the guy that retires as an E6. He's a good soldier. You know?
Well, that's why the Army, I mean, they used to have ranks of like E4 or Specialist 5, Specialist 6, Specialist 7.
Yeah, technical.
A good soldier, but just wasn't leadership quality.
Yeah.
You didn't want to screw the guy because he was really good at his job, but he just didn't have what it took to become an NCO. So they had the rank of Specialist 5, Specialist 6. I think Specialist 8 was the highest rank they had. So you could give him more pay because, he fucking mastered his job.
Yeah.
But just wasn't a leader,
Yeah.
But...
we had guys like that. And I say Sergeant Craig. I mean, mostly everybody that served underneath him hate his guts.
Yeah.
And he's an asshole. Good soldier. If I was a first sergeant and I was going to pick a team leader, like a teams, I need to get 5-man teams. I would want him to be in charge of one of them because he's going to get the shit done.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's a point and shoot motherfucker. Now, he's probably going to abuse the people working for him and make them do it. You know what I mean?
It's the Army, man.
But I got 5 teams to worry about. I can't be bogged down. They're privates. They'll get over it. Maybe one day they'll make E5 and they'll get the revenge. So good soldier, asshole. I would say probably no tact. Like he's the fucking guy that would tell a dirty joke around your mom and not know that he was being, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But another thing too is, and this, I think this will nail the point. Like, I like to give a shout out to everyone listening, especially people who are in the Army, with all this shit that how modern society is trying to.
Oh my God.
It's the Army. Whether or not, there's family programs. Yeah, there's ASAP. Yeah, there's fucking let's build houses. Let's get better conditions. Your job in the Army is to die for your country.
Yeah, you're right.
And the bottom line is you are cannon fodder.
Not really, though.
No. Listen, hear me out.
Your job, 90% of the Army, your job is to support the fucking infantry.
That
period.
too, but when it comes down
so
to it,
they can die.
A military's purpose is life shields for their country, period. The first line of defense, right?
Yeah.
Your job is to do your job, but at the same time, what people have to realize, in order to be a good soldier, you have to realize it's just like being a good person means you have to accept death. Like, you can have all that sensitivity training and all those regulations, but the purpose of being a soldier is to essentially die for your country. That's the whole purpose. What else purpose is it? It's to win victories.
I think that's cliche. Your purpose is to kill motherfuckers so your country can be the strongest.
Right.
Dying is a fucking byproduct of it. Like
it's a byproduct.
Like I said, I never went into any combat situation, whether it was in the military, which wasn't a whole lot. We sit around, wait, and shit happens. But even as a contractor, where we're overtly going into an area, I never had the mindset, kind of like what I was explaining with Shugart and Gordon, like the mindset of, I never thought we were going to die.
Right. That true. But the real purpose.
I think if I would have thought about it, I probably would have been scared and I wouldn't have went. Right. You know what I mean? I just always thought, hey, look, I can shoot better than these motherfuckers.
I think it's just hiding. It's just something that, if you can accept that and be like, okay, as much as this sucks, like,
but if I was a soldier today,
it's not a job where, for instance, if they hire you at Sony and they fucking promote you through the ranks of Sony, your job is to improve that company.
Yes.
And to make a product.
Yes.
Your job is not to ultimately die for that company.
No.
But in the Army, you are literally serve the purpose of being a human shield for your country. When it comes down to the bare bones of it, you can be in a cop as a fucking fueler, but if that cop gets overrun and there's 5,000 motherfuckers and only 300 of you, guess what?
Yeah, you always go back. You're a soldier first. Yeah, you're a rifleman first. Yeah,
but it's my little 2 cents.
Yeah, but and you're right, and there should be, but I would say, with the way I am, I could not be in today's Army because I'm not going to go, like I said, okay, first of all, I never joined the Army to be that guy you just described.
Right.
I never had the sense of...
I don't think anybody really does.
I think that the patriotism is just like, it's just a byproduct of it. Like, yeah, America. I don't think, there might be some guys that are like, they're willing to just die for their country and they would be proud to do so. Mm-hmm. But the way America is now, I want to move the fuck out of the United States. I couldn't imagine defending the current administration and their policies. I couldn't imagine being on the brink of having to go and possibly fight a war against Russia for the Ukraine when Ukraine is obviously on the wrong side of that conflict, in my opinion. I would not want to go and fight. I wouldn't go. Okay. And, unless Russia came over here, and I'm only using them because that's like kind of what the conflict is right now. China's not beefing with us. They can, and there's the potential to, but they're not beefing with us.
Right.
If Russia came over here and landed on American soil, that's a different story. But to go over and defend the Ukrainians, who I give a fuck about, and if you want me to be partial in the situation, I'm siding with Russia in that whole thing, soup to nuts. There's nothing about the Ukraine I'm siding with, and I'm only talking about governments. I'm not talking about people. Yeah, and what they're doing. So I couldn't imagine having to go. I wouldn't go. How do you fucking go now? To go to Afghanistan, at least the Taliban were motherfuckers. Yeah, you know what I mean? They were fucking killing kids and. They were fucking cutting clits off little girls and doing all that Muslim shit, like a female circumcisions. Yeah. And they were oppressive. They were bad dudes. You know what I mean? I didn't mind killing them, and maybe someone's listening right now is like, that's because they were brown and Ukrainians and Russians are white.
No, dude, check this out, man. Just talking to my buddy yesterday, actually. No, day before in the 101st Colton. Mm-hmm. Where he was at, dude, the Taliban was using 90mm. They would build schools for the girls, little girls. And the Taliban got a hold of some 90mm recoilless rifles. And when they were learning about those rifles, they were using them fucking targeting the schools, shooting up, blowing little girls to bits in the fucking schools. Because first of all, that was against their beliefs. Second of all, they wanted to test them and see what they did. And the fact that they fucking, so yeah, that's anyone who thinks that fucking the Taliban is just and like, fuck that shit, dude. I'm going to say it straight up. Like
you're right. I think every single one of those motherfuckers deserves to die if I have a say in it.
I'm glad that...
But that's their fucking country.
Yeah.
And the men in that country, if they wanted to, they could overthrow it. You're never going to civilize because, again, they're tribal people.
Right. That's a paradox.
We can't even unify our own country.
Right.
Like human beings are adversarial people, and we're tribal. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's just in our instinct. Anything over like 100 people, like I don't know 100 people, but I might have 100 people on my Facebook page that But we don't. There's no national identity. You know what I mean? Like you say you're an American, whether you're from California, or you're from New York, or you're from Texas, or you're from fucking North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama. But there's different cultures in those areas.
Yes.
There's different value structures.
Yes.
The majority of the values in Alabama are stark different than the values in, say, San Francisco.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Not just one person, not one politician, the people. And I don't mean just from bad to good. I don't mean Christian to, super liberal and want little boys and little kids to transition in. I'm talking about just simple things like if you go to Alabama and you're asked a question by an older lady and you don't say yes, ma'am, mm-hmm. you're going to be looked at as disrespectful. Mm-hmm. If you say yes, ma'am, no, sir, in New York City, they are like, what the fuck? Where are you from? You ain't from around here. Like,
well, even here now.
I
called the VA today and I was trying to, follow up on some care. And from my opinion, the lady who answered the phone was a female, but I said, thank you, ma'am. And she got pissed at me.
Why?
And just her whole demeanor changed. I don't know. Maybe she's not a ma'am. I don't know. But it's like, what the fuck? Anyhow, man, I wanted to keep this. It's not,
well, you can't have a conversation, a fluid conversation, because it always goes back to maybe not politics, because I'm not siding on either side. What I'm saying is, in America, you've got different values, but the government wants all of the people to have one national identity. They treat the people like there's a national identity, and there's just not.
There's really not, yeah. We pretend there is, but there's not.
Yeah, so how are you going to go to a country that is totally uncivilized? Afghanistan, were you there?
No, I never went to Afghanistan.
Afghanistan is totally uncivilized. Afghanistan, they live in fortresses.
Yeah.
Not because of war, because these are fortresses that are hundreds of years old.
Thousands.
The family lives inside of a fortress. Why? Because they're always at war with another tribe. And even they have a peace treaty with the tribe that's, 100 miles up the fucking valley. maybe that peace treaty ends the night that you're fucking sleeping on guard duty, and now everybody's fucking dead in your house. So you're gonna, and that was going on. It goes on to this day. So we're gonna go over there and say, here's democracy that we can't even fucking muster, that we can't even get straight. And you think you're gonna civilize these people?
It's not gonna happen.
It's a fucking, and you think. I think about the people in the CDC. I think about the people in the government. I think about the people in the FBI. I think about the people in the CIA. Mm-hmm. And I guess I want to believe these are smart people. They're smarter than I am. That's why we're going there. They've thought about this.
I don't think they're smarter. I think they're just more manipulative.
No, the issue is they're not smart people. Yeah. I dealt with the FBI on a fucking, I'm not going to get into the details of the case, but I dealt with the FBI, and I was flabbergasted, and I even joked about it with one of the agents who I was kind of friendly with. You know, he was a decent guy, but I was like, all of the fucking college education, you guys do this for a living, and you have literally come up with the conclusion that any 5-year-old would have came up with, and everybody else in the room would have dismissed it because it's too fucking obvious. You ever try to figure out a movie in the beginning? What do you think? Look at the time for? You got to pee?
No.
Want to take a break?
I'm just looking.
Oh, I thought you were looking at the time. Like, if you want to, you ain't got to wait for a break. Just say, hey, break, I got to pee. I can stop it and splice it. So, but they're that dumb.
Yeah.
And so you look at these government people and these bureaucrats, and they think, oh, we're gonna go help these. We're gonna invade. First of all, it's a lie. We're not going there to help them. There's something in it for us.
Well, there's money. It's all about
But the
money.
people in charge, they're not smart people.
Yeah.
And that's hard. And I had a button when I was a kid that said, people that think that they know everything are fucking annoying to those of us that actually do. Like, so if you're an intelligent person and you can look through things, like you can see through the red or the blue, and you can see the fucking gray middle, it drives you insane when the people in the red and blue can't see it.
Yeah.
And they won't listen to you. And then you come off as, maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'm fucking crazy. I see it. It's as plain as day. He can fucking see it. Oh, yeah, he can see it, but he's a fucking kook, you know. And it's like a gaslighting.
Yeah.
And you're just like, so a lot of people can just, I know guys that can just kind of sit back and listen and smirk and just shake their head and drive the fuck on and not say nothing, and their lives are easy. And then you got people like me that can't help it. Yeah. And I got a fucking, I found it today, like on Facebook. I seen something, they got me. Mm-hmm. They stroked my fucking anger, and I was about to say something. I was like, nope.
And that's why we surf.
Yeah.
Because it literally cleans the slate.
Yeah. Fucking surfing. That's the only thing I want to do. I was sitting out there this morning. I looked at Martin. I said, look.
Yeah.
Everybody, when I talk about moving to Costa Rica, which I'm dead serious about, because there's really there's not going to be a value in being an American citizen once China becomes a world superpower. Right. Once they become the number one, there's going to be there's no reason to be an American citizen. It's actually going to hurt you to be an American citizen. But anyway, that's a different conversation. Everybody says, yeah, well, everybody, 90% of the people leave after moving there after a year. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to get down there and you're going to find out that you're not, being on vacation all the time is boring. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't fucking surf.
True.
You don't
people
understand.
That surf have been there for 20, 30 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
when you can surf every fucking day that you want to. Now, I'm not that you're going to surf 7 days a week, although I surf 10 days straight, and I never got tired of it.
No,
I never was like, sometimes I'm tired. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to fucking go. I got to stretch, And
you got to get out there, man.
But once you get out there, it's like 4 hours later, you realize, man, I haven't eaten anything in 6 hours. I've been fucking moving constantly. I need to go eat. Then you go eat and you take a little nap, and it's like, oh man, the waves look good, but I'm tired. But you always go, and it's always different. Mm-hmm. Every fucking wave is different.
Every session.
I've never got bored like, oh, I'm going to catch another wave. It's like, fuck, I gotta go. I'm about to fucking get a parking ticket.
One more wave.
One more wave, and you get that wave, and you don't maybe, like today, I was all about cutting into the wave and walking to the front of the board, and I was like, one more good one. I caught a good one, but as I was walking to the front of the board, it got wobbly, and then I wiped out, and I was like, all right, I gotta go. I got like 5 minutes, so I said, one more, you know?
Dude. So yesterday, man, after you left, right? I was like, I sat in my truck at Crystal, the parking lot. And it was starting to get packed up, and people were getting edgy. You know, it's the summer crowd starting. It was 80 degrees yesterday. And I was like, man, I really am tired. Been up. I got an hour of sleep. Fuck. I was like, you know what? I'm here. And I was like, I got to get home soon, but I'm going to go back out. And I got out there, dude, and I kept looking at my watch, and I was like, all right, it's 2:30, 2:45, I'm out. It's 2:45. All right, fuck. And you've seen me.
Your wife has to hate you.
Oh, no, she doesn't hate me. By that time, she's getting ready for work. And I give the boys a 2-hour window when I'm out there. I'm not an irresponsible parent, but I have a teenager at home, okay? He can sit there and watch the other kids for 2 hours when I go surf. So I have that window that I have to get home. But, man, yesterday, dude, I was out there, and I told myself, one more big wave, all right? One more big wave, because I'm back in my groove now. I've finally recovered. My body's strong. And
he catches all these waves conveniently when I'm not around.
You got to stick around, man. Hey, you know what I was going to do, actually? Because
he's always like, oh, as soon as you left, it got big, and I was bombing, dude.
Check it out. I was going to do this earlier, but my phone's being used on the camera. But because you always give me shit, it's always when you're gone.
You got one on video. I was there for that.
I was going to call Colton on speaker and have him be like, Colton, tell Buddy about that bomb I caught the other day and fucking went by everybody in the lineup. But anyways.
Okay. The one that you caught in 4 hours. What board were you on?
It was worth it.
What board were you on?
My retro.
Oh, okay. That's a longer board, though.
Longer, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. But anyways, like yesterday, I was just, man, I sat there. And the funny thing is that big set came. And I was like, oh, this is it. And it was fucking a big one. I was on my boogie board. And as soon as I caught it, both fucking legs seized.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, and I fucking twisted up. And my board caught. And it just threw me. And that was when I went over. I went down. I hit my fucking ass on the sand, and it wasn't just like you get that experience at places that have heavy undertow. And that's how the waves they got violent yesterday in the evening. And I was rolling, and I'm like, oh shit! I had a little panic moment because usually in Wrightsville you get knocked down, you tumble, but you get right back up, dude. Yeah. I went to get back up, and something fucking pushed me back down. And I was like, oh shit! So I had a little flutter in my heart.
That happened.
But I got up. And I still was like, and everyone heard me because I was like, fuck. I started cussing as soon as I got out of the surface of the water. And there's a longboarder in front of me. And this kid was cool as shit. I don't know what his name was, but he and I were like vibing, man. And he was like, oh shit, get that one, bro. You know, we're telling each other to go. And I was like, fuck, dude, one more. And he's like, one more? And I kept coming back. And like, after like 5 more, he's like, I feel you, bro.
Meanwhile, this poor kid sitting on the steps of the fucking school with a backpack, kicking a can because his dad's always fucking late.
No, it's spring break, so.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
You do. I will be on the fucking beach. I'm driving. He has to be back. You have to be back by 4:00 to pick up your kid. So I'm ready to go. I'm at the van. I take a little bit longer because I got to fold my shit up, and Brennan's not here. I'm like, dude, when are we gonna? I walk down. He's still in the fucking water. You got 2 hours. It takes 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes to get back. We're gonna be late.
Hey, man.
It's all good, though.
It is.
It's all good.
And that's the thing, too, because like I said, I've probably surfed over 1,000 times at least.
Yeah.
Not a single session has been the same as
great.
the other one.
And I could do it every day.
And I could, exactly.
And where else are you going to do it every day at? Here it's too expensive and it's too much fucking stress.
Yeah.
Can't do it here.
I mean, that pay for parking shit's got to go, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck that place, dude.
It's expensive.
That's bullshit. I mean, I get it.
And then gas, I fucking, I went 2 days in a row. That's 2 tanks of gas. With gas at $3.50, whatever, $3.49 a fucking gallon. $5 an hour to park.
Yep.
Got to eat. Got to have drink and Red Bull.
It's $100
a
day easily.
It's $100 fucking day.
Shit, and that's why I pack my own. I'm gonna start bringing peanut butter and honey sandwiches from now.
That was a good fucking sandwich. You need to make. Yeah, I need to know exactly where you got all that stuff so I can replicate it.
It was good. It's funny. This motherfucker.
He's like, you want a peanut butter and honey sandwich? I was like, fucking no. And then he's insisted.
Yep.
So I took it and I took a bite out of it and I was like, oh my fucking God, this is good.
But then he's sitting there bitching about the peanut butter.
Oh, like crunchy. I don't like crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah, but that shit was good, man. But
I like creamy peanut butter.
And then it's shit that sticks to your ribs.
Why do you have crunchy? Yeah, but then you fucking shit and it cuts your asshole.
I don't know why I had crunchy peanut butter. I usually have creamy peanut butter.
Like, how the fuck did peanuts get back together? Do they like it? That shit was chewed the fuck up.
That's some magic shit. Yeah, that's funny as hell.
Yeah.
But no, I usually have creamy peanut butter, but I don't like crunchy peanut butter either.
Yeah.
Somehow, some reason, we have a jar of crunchy peanut butter in our pantry. And it was 4 a.m. and I made a sandwich. So
no, but it worked in that sandwich with that bread. What was like some?
That bread was that Gucci shit, man. That was that It's fucking what's it called? Goddamn, Jesus, brioche bread.
Yeah,
with multigrain.
Yeah,
So it's like
with like some good honey. It didn't taste like the sous vide honey. It tasted like some good shit.
The German wildflower honey.
I wanted one today, but I only have Peter Pan, and I have the local honey I use in my tea because I stopped drinking coffee. I'm drinking tea like a Brit with fucking milk and honey.
Oh, God.
But it's not that, the peanut butter on white bread, like Wonder Bread, is not going to be the same.
And that shit, it's stuck because, like I said, the only thing is we have to hydrate because those cramps, man, they can kill you.
Yeah,
that's like that has happened to me a lot.
The outside of my right knee today was so fucking
mine
bad.
Too. Yeah,
I think I tweaked it.
Actually, right now there's pressure on it.
I fucking wiped out on a wave yesterday. It was so weird. It's the first time it ever happened. But I felt like I was going down a slide. Like I felt like I was going down a slide, and then it fucking crashed on me because I guess I was in the peak of it.
Yeah,
it wrecked. I fell, and then I just kind of rode it. Yeah. I think I tweaked my knee on that, and then this morning it hurt real bad. But anyway,
but
you want to call it? We got about 2 hours.
Yeah,
now
man.
we probably got about an hour and 45 minutes, but that's good.
Sounds
for a Wednesday.
good, man.
I'm tired. I've been up since 3:00 this morning. I surfed. I had to repair my board, but I'll tell you all
mentally,
about
it's been a great week. There's a few things politically that happened, but you know what? Tonight we just want to talk about something fun.
Yeah, I didn't want to get on the political shit.
Even though we went a little bit there, but who cares?
Everybody's mad about fucking Budweiser. What do you think about that?
I think it's a joke, man. And I don't mind whatever makes people feel good. Great, but I hate how these bullshit brands try to everyone should take it as an insult. And that's another thing.
At first, I did think I was like, that's shit. I don't drink Bud Light.
Here's what people should take. Brands pretending they give a fuck about anyone is bullshit.
Well, they're not. But look at it like this, though. There's a whole new market to market your goods to now, because before they stayed in the backfield,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
now with social trends, there's probably going to be more transgender people that are just doing it because they want friends.
Because it's fuck you, man. Like Bud Light.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure there are people out there that feel like they need to be a woman, and there's men out there that, women that feel like they need to be a man. I totally think that but it's such a small percentage. But now it's going to, my 5-year-old thinks that she should be a boy. So so there's a whole new market. If I'm a marketing guy and I'm sitting around and I'm a fucking millennial to that, it's not queer to me. It's queer to us because we're from Generation X, and then everybody before that these people used to get fucking curb stomped, and we didn't care. I'm maybe not saying we were doing it. When we found out that a homo got beat up in the park, or some local gang, because they used to meet up at fucking truck stops or rest areas and do like orgies and shit because they had to be private. Gangs would find out about it. Dudes would go fuck them up. You didn't care. If they fucked up some Christian babies, you'd be like, oh my God, the Christians are being attacked. But now we care about this stuff. So there's a whole new market opening up. So as a marketing guy, man, hey, maybe we get a jump on this. Maybe we get a jump.
I don't know, man. I guess my take is don't fucking let it get to you to the point where it ruins your day.
Are you gonna? What's your favorite?
I drink Mexican beer, man.
So do I.
I used to drink Bud Light.
I like Mick Ultra, but I like Mexican beer.
But my whole thing is like, and I see this a lot.
Do you have a favorite brand of anything?
Not really.
Not anything.
Not really, no.
Clothing?
Nah.
Don't care?
I like surf clothing just because I like the way it looks.
What's your favorite surf clothing? I like Vissela for some reason.
O'Neill's cool.
Yeah.
I've always liked O'Neill.
So if
O'Neill's from Northern California.
Would you stop buying O'Neill clothing?
No.
Like all the people that when Carhartt came out against whatever the fuck they came out against, everybody was like, oh, no more Carhartt. That lasted.
I guess
like
my whole thing is
day.
I'm against fucking I'm against what's the word? Hype.
Yeah.
I'm against hype, all right?
Well, you only hype it by us
like
discussing
Carhartt.
it right now.
But I also hate the fact
or
that
Yeti, when Yeti said something, everybody was like, oh, I was like, yo, feel free to give me your Carhartt overalls because I love the quilted ones. Give me your fucking Yetis. I'll take care of them.
Exactly. If you're really about that.
Nobody
fucking
gave me their Carhartt or Yeti. So maybe Budweiser, somebody said, well, if we put, I don't know what it is, a trans man, woman. No, I don't know what
it's I never heard of that dude until the she or whatever.
Him, whatever. Somebody said, look, our clientele, we got a lot of fucking rednecks that drink Bud Light, and they're going to be mad about this shit. And so they probably discussed it.
That's racist, though.
What?
That in itself is fucking racist. As everybody wants to be woke, let's be woke about that. We got a bunch of rednecks who drink Bud Light. What a fucking generalization.
I never claimed to be woke.
No, that's what I'm just saying. That's what I'm against. I mean, this fucking stupid shit,
Okay,
man.
maybe in woke society,
think about
a
that.
segment of our consumer base has been drinking Bud Light. They're gonna be mad. But,
You know for a
But
fact.
these dumbasses have the attention span of a goldfish. They're going to be mad about it, and they're going to post about it,
Yeah.
and they're going to fucking blow up our fucking product,
And
and,
then
they're
here we
going to
go.
threaten to ban. But as soon as Trump says some more shit, they're going to go right back to drinking it because she's only going to be on there for what, a run? She's not on there permanent.
Yeah.
He or she, whatever it is. I don't pay. But there. So whoever brought up the baby boomer or Generation X person that said you're alienating most of our client base that buy our shit. Somebody reminded that guy that our attention spans as Americans
He's a goldfish.
is a goldfish. Every a goldfish only has an 8-second memory.
Yep.
Every fucking 6 seconds he goes insane. It lasts 2 seconds and then it starts all over again. And he's
true.
like, this ain't so bad. I got it fucking made.
Yeah.
He's like, wait a minute, them fucking walls are closing in on me. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? I can't swim. Man, this ain't so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Kind of like 10-second Tom from 51st Dates. Hi, I'm Tom.
Oh, yeah.
So I had
Oh,
an
yeah.
accident. What happened? Oh, hey,
Yep.
So anyway,
man.
let's close it out. I got that
But yeah.
dog. Probably got to take a shit.
I just want to go surf again.
I want to go
so
home. Yeah.
You trying
So
to go
what-
surf tomorrow?
I can't tomorrow. I got to work tomorrow.
What about Saturday, Sunday?
I think Sunday.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
But anyways, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you got a little bit of de-stress from this a little bit less political podcast today.
Yeah.
But we'll get on it next week.
Apparently, there's people that don't want to hear about the politics all the time, so we'll see how that goes. You know.
You know what? Fuck 'em.
But,
It's our podcast.
What's your name
Yeah.
again? Dan? I don't know what I want to call you. Fucking shout out.
Roger. I say again, line Lima, 38 Sierra, Papa Victor, 324 429. I'll copy.
Solid copy. Do you have any remarks? Over.